Hey everybody, good morning. Start a poll. Start a poll. Let's see. Who thinks Bitcoin can hold here? I mean, I don't like being right in cases like this where, I mean, I started about sometime in October, mid October. I started warning about the pullback in Bitcoin, and sometimes I just don't like being right. I mean, I just not fond of the fact that we got right down to the zone. And I guess I should pop on this chart, this chart, this chart. I mean, we're right in the bubble, right? I'm sure 90% of you want to know, is it going to hold here? And that's the whole thing. Like I always say, don't just buy the dip. Wait till it holds support. All right, this is ideal support. But if it doesn't hold, things get worse. We can come back down here. We can revisit this low from April. That's next. Right there. Are we going to have buyers come in? I don't know. Right? I don't know. Like, do buyers come in right there? It's a good question. Right now we are dipping to try to find where the support is. This to me was ideal support. That's a classic 618 retrace. Sets us up for going higher. Now I can't say for sure that we're going to hold here. I don't have a magic. I don't have any kind of magic. I make a lot of guesses. Like I knew we were probably going to dip here. I was the price action up here foretold the story of coming down here. And the more that unfolded, the more sure I got that we were going to see a move down here. I can't say with high certainty that we're done dipping yet. In fact, I drew it 52. Should have held on to my short for 52 because we're all the way to the bottom now. It's a nice size correction, right? Matches the last one right there. Kind of matches the one before that right there. Kind of funny. Copy right there. Copy right here. It's a classic pullback. Could it go deeper? Sure. They can always go deeper. They can always do something different. Could this open up the door to go higher again? Absolutely. Could it go on up here? Yep, sure can. What would that look like? From the current level up to here, it's like 66% upside. What would that look like on Bitcoin? 66% upside. We're sitting right on the 618. 66% upside. 152. Look at that. That's the level I've been saying for a long time. Let's see. One of these has it drawn on it. Let's see. Nope, not that one. It's Coinbase. Nope. Find where I've got it drawn. I've got it drawn on one of these charts. Let's see. This one. Yeah, there it is. And right there, 157 was my 10x target. That's been the zone since we made the low in November 22. Right there. This move up would put us right in the bottom of it if we do it. All we'd be doing is copying this move. Off this low, puts us right at that spot right there. All it is copying that move, basically that move. Just doing it one more time. So that's what we got. That's what we got. I would be careful shorting Cloudflare. I would be very careful doing that today. Let me show you why. It's all over Wall Street bets and stuff, but look where we are. Dun, 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 dun. Pre-market, right on the roadmap line. Usually, could it dip a little further? Absolutely. Did we dip a little back here? Absolutely. Did we go as deep as it probably should have? Nope. We pulled back and launched off. So could it go a little bit deeper? Yeah. Be careful though. It can turn around and rip. If we did that same kind of move from here, be up here, maybe 317. Bigger pullbacks get bigger expansions. Smaller pullbacks get smaller expansions. Log mode wise, this is a smaller correction. Not log mode wise, almost the same size. So be careful out there. Be careful out there. Anyway, probably should start. Probably should circle back and talk about what I planned on talking about this morning. So I thought it was important to hit on a couple of those real quick because a lot of people drop off as the stream goes on. So thought I'd hit on those few things real quickly. And welcome to the show, everybody. Yeah, we've had this sticky inflation for a while, and let's talk about what has actually gone up and what has gone down. And I was at the grocery store this weekend staring at the meat counter. Had kind of a revelation or epiphany, and it wasn't like the meaning of life or the secrets of the universe. I was just kind of looking at the price of steak, and let me tell you, it's a pricey revelation, right? I mean, it seems like we're living in a bizarro world. The latest numbers in 2025 are in. They paint a very interesting picture of inflation. It's a world where you can get a new outfit for less, but you might have to sell a kidney to pay your electric bill. That's kind of crazy. A world where your morning eggs are cheaper. They've come down, but the beef for your burger is now a luxury item. We're all going to be eating plants, I guess. Welcome to the great 2025 price scramble, everybody. It's been a wild ride, and if you haven't been paying attention, you've been left behind. Let's start with the big one, beef. It's up a whopping 14.7% this year. Yeah, that's right. Your steak dinner is now a status symbol. Why? Because allegedly a perfect storm of drought, disease, cattle herd that's smaller than a New York City apartment collection, and some analysts are whispering that we could see $10 a pound in 2026. $10 a pound for ground beef. Now, for the savvy investors out there, this isn't just a dinner dilemma. This is an opportunity. We're talking about cattle futures, feeder cattle, even looking at companies that are making other kinds of meat, even if you don't like that narrative, the kind that grows in a lab, not on a ranch, because when a steak costs as much as a concert ticket, well, all of a sudden, people get interested in alternatives, no matter how weird they are. But while we've all been crying over our grocery bills, you can at least take solace. I can't even say that word. Solace in the fact that your lights are still on, at least for now. Electricity prices are up 6%, 6.4%, in fact. This isn't just because your neighbor is keeping the Christmas lights up till March. This is about a massive, insatiable hunger for AI, all those data centers, all that computing power. It all needs juice. Utilities are scrambling to cut AI companies a great deal, and guess who gets to pay for the expansion of their electric system? You and I. And that's why the bills go up. They cut a sweetheart deal to this high base demand and then pass on the savings, the costs to the little guy. You should be mad about this. You should be contacting people about this. This is bullshit. And we're talking about projected cost increases of 165% as power demand goes up by 2030. That's a big number. So you're going to be paying more to charge your phone, charge your EV, cook your dinner on your electric stove, run your microwave. And the smart money is looking at utility stocks, grid infrastructure companies, even the ones that are boring. You know, the once boring nuclear power sector, now kind of exciting because the age of AI is a gold rush and it probably has room to go. Demand ridiculously higher. Now for some potential good news, or at least less bad news. The price of women's apparel is down 2%. That's right. You can now afford to buy a new shirt to wear while you eat ramen because you can't afford any of the other meats. Certainly not beef, but here's the catch. The quality of that shirt probably so bad it's going to disintegrate after a couple months, maybe 3 washes. We're living in an age of fast fashion where clothes are practically disposable, and this is a tough market for traditional retailers, but a gold mine for discount stores and off-price giants. Think about it. If everything is getting more expensive, people are going to be looking for bargains. That's where we find investment opportunity. And finally, let's talk about eggs. Down 1.3%. You remember that great egg apocalypse of 2025 when a dozen eggs cost more than a gallon of gas and maybe more than 3 gallons of gas in some places? Well, the chickens are back. They grow pretty fast compared to beef, and the prices are down, but don't get too comfortable. The avian flu is a reoccurring nightmare for the poultry industry, and this thing could spike right back up in a heartbeat. This is a volatile market, but for those with a strong stomach, there are opportunities in poultry producers that have biosecurity game on lockdown. And in the companies that are developing the next generation of egg substitutes. Think about that for a minute. So what's the takeaway here? Well, the economy is a complex beast. The headlines don't always tell the whole story. You got to dig deeper. You have to look at the numbers, understand the trends, and find opportunities. Most people miss it, right? Especially if you're looking where other people aren't and where mainstream media is not talking. Because in 2025, and all this price scramble, the winners have been the ones that can find the patterns in the chaos. And that, my friends, is how you stay ahead of this game. So there's the real highlights of inflation this year. Eggs seemingly down, but not really huge. Yeah, David, you could switch over to Mint, which is T-Mobile, $15 a month. Anyway, it's kind of crazy. Same service. I pay yearly for my 2 boys to have Mint Mobile. And jumping over, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation is intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instruments, including stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. If you trade them, you might lose money. I'm a dude. I have a YouTube show. I like Monster. I don't have a crystal ball. I got a bag of unicorn dust. I make predictions in the market. Sometimes I get lucky. Sometimes I don't. Thanks for being here. But if you want somebody to tell you what to do, what to push, be careful out there. There's a lot of people sell you a bag of fairy dust, unicorn hopes and dreams, and a lot of people pretend like they tell you what to do to make money, and you better be careful. Nobody cares about your money more than you do. If you think somebody else out there telling you exactly what to do, how to make money, better be careful. I've been showing off my actual track record for the last 7 months. Here's how we're doing year to date. $34,000. This started in April. Right back here. The real deal, how to make money in the markets. All the trades thrown out here. Posted in public, verified, right there. Does the person you're following do this? If not, they're probably not actually trading. Just saying. Now, you guys are here, though. You're following me. I appreciate it. I'm just saying, for those that maybe are new here, pay attention. Look at that cloud flare already bouncing. Come on, baby. It's an opportunity here. Let's turn off these two fib levels right there. Turn that. So we've got that high right there. We got that low right there. We got to close above 230. That 618 level right there. Probably coming up here. Now, I provide a daily list. When this actually kicks off, it'll probably make the list. But it doesn't have the greatest history. I have one on the list today. And it's a biotech, pharmaceutical. I don't know. Out of the 4,000 stocks out there, one triggered the entry yesterday. 1578 target. Same pattern. There's the high. Here's the low. There's the entry. Here's the target. 1578. 75% likely. Because the stats on this baby are pretty horrible. 66.68. Yeah. Horrible. But they're insignificant because it's less than 30 trades. So a ticker only gains its own history once it reaches 30. So other than that, you just have to look at the broad statistics of the pattern. So everyone wants to know, JT, we broke below your support level. Yeah, probably going down the daily roadmap line. Unless this turns around right here. Overnight. Pushing into this crap right here. But you look at this. That move up right there from that low up to the high that was up there. We just hit that 1272 extension. Same rules, same thing, same pattern, upside down. Broke below the 618. There's the target. Now, the question is, now that we've retested the breakout, this was a breakout down, by the way. Now that we retested the breakout, do we get continuation down here? There's the low, there's the high, upside down, roadmap bounce. There's the low, here's the high, broke below the 618. Here's the continuation. There's the retest. Do we get more continuation? I don't know. The thing to watch right here. Here's the low. Here's the high. Here's the 618. Do we hold it and start breaking higher? And do that in more than just A, B, C. Right? That correction, A, B, C. So far, this working on 3 waves. When you see that, we get continuation lower. Look, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Trend is down. Correction, continue the trend. As long as we're continuing the trend, looking for lower prices. We are right at that level, right there. And we're holding on to it. Now, that's not a daily close below. Right there. When we look at this, this is where everybody kind of gets confused. For some reason, I'm not sure why. When I'm looking at these levels, I'm looking at sustained move. That's like a daily close down here, followed by the next day is down here. And then we're probably confirming that we're going down. If we just make a big long red candle here, close up here. If this looks like, if this ends up being like this, or even, up here in green, possibly. Well, that tested the breakdown and then set up a potential reversal. Not sure why everybody gets confused on this. Maybe it's because everybody keeps their chart on this. You're like, oh my God, we spent like 20 minutes below the line. OMG, 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 OMG. OMG. Exclamation point, exclamation point. We spent 20 minutes below. It's broken. When you're looking at big patterns, you got to be on the big chart. All right. Now, let's take a look at some of this, right? This 3-wave correction right here. First move down, retrace, next move down. If only there was a fib tool we could use to figure out where we might find support. The 3-point tool right here. Here's the high. Right there's the low. Right here's the high. And look right here. This would be a normal expected support. For this to be an A, a B. Absolutely beautiful correction. Right there. And if things got extra crispy spicy, look what's right there. Daily roadmap line. Right around 6,400. It's that simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just step back and look at it. All right. Looks like we're about 50-50 on going higher, going lower on Bitcoin. Got some pessimists out there and some optimists out there. That's what makes a market. I like it. I like the fact we're about 50-50. That means there's a lot of fear out there. Fear is what it takes to go higher. Crank this baby down. Oh. Flushed out like almost $2 trillion out of the market cap of Bitcoin. Or out of total. Turn off my thing. Look at that. Went from there down to here. Somebody said 1.7. It doesn't look like 1.7. That looks like $1.2 trillion. It's something I read this morning said 1.7. That's only 1.2. Nothing broken yet. Look how beautiful that bounce was right there. This isn't even looking at Bitcoin. This is just looking at the total market cap of crypto right here. This pullback right there. There's the high. There's the low. There's the close above the 618. There's the target. Stuff works. Works everywhere. It's the craziest freaking pattern. When I learned this pattern, I see it was a 3-day pattern. Which roadmap line did it hold? It held the 3-day right there. Target right there. Retrace back to the. See, look at how beautiful that is. Look, it hit the 1448, retraced, tested the breakout, held it, went up for the 1272, and then retraced to the roadmap line. Beautiful. If we hold it, opens the door for the next move up. Possibly even up to 5.2. Works on all time frames. Now, if we don't hold it, this gets a little worse, we may need to revisit the weekly roadmap line. It'd be right down here. Haven't done that for a good long time. We were back down here in 23. I don't know if we have a monthly. Yeah, we don't have a monthly yet. Eventually, we'll have to come back and hit the monthly wherever it is. Let's see, we have a. Yeah. Don't even have a 144. So it's not magic. It's just a price pattern. It's the craziest thing. When I show people this, it's like voodoo magic. Unless you spend a little time and learn it. Now, what's really interesting to me here, that move down, that retrace, that's 1, 2, 3. We might have a little bit further to go here. That's the classic A, B, C. Absolutely beautiful correction. Right there. That'd be the ideal support if we're going to go higher. So that's just a little bit lower than where we actually are. So we may have a little bit worse flush out in the crypto industry based on the total market cap. It's not even like the actual prices. It's just the total market cap. Meta. Yeah, baby. Look at that. Confluence. This can be really powerful. This 3-day roadmap line lined up with that 618 retrace from that low to that high. We hold this, turn higher. Talking about a big potential upside. This is usually the kind of stuff that shoots us higher faster. Not going to promise anything. Could take this path. Could be out here well into 27 before we get up there. If you're trying to play with options, you better be careful. That could be like doubling your money on Meta. Really like that potential. Really, really, really like this potential on Meta. Put another alert right there. Right at the 618. So close. Almost taste it. Let's see, Microsoft. Come on. Push on down. This one really needs to push just right on down here. We'll get a little bit of support from this roadmap line coming up here. I want to see it push into this zone. Be the A down, the B retrace, the C down. Right down in there. Jumping back up. Look at the NASDAQ. This can come down. Not sugarcoating that. Clear this off. All the things we talked about. So we've got support kind of right in here. Get below that. This might be where we're heading. Same three-wave structure. Here's the high, here's the low, here's the high. Right down here. Maybe where we gotta go to correct this baby out. Could be, I mean, this could last another couple weeks, right? I mean, maybe the Santa rally's off. Let's see. What do y'all think? What y'all think on that? Is the Santa rally called off this year? Look at this. Dun, 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 dun. That happened quick. And there's still the possibility we come just a little bit lower and test this. Top of that box. It was resistance on the way up. But we're right back to that level. If Russell can hold this, that's a big if, capital if. If we hold here, put 2 exclamation points on it. If we hold that, we could be up here before the end of the year. Potentially. Still has potential. That's 300 points. Pretty darn close. 250 points. Pretty nice. You may be like, how the heck do you even trade that? Trade it with this. It'd be going from 230 up to about 260, 257. Now, would I play December? Probably not. I'd probably play January if you're going to try this. Maybe you have a little more time. Now, this is a daily roadmap balance, so it could take 7 months for this to play out. And it hasn't even kicked off the entry yet. But based on all the things going on, I have a feeling this is going to happen sooner than later. But you can wait. Wait for it to kick off right here. This will probably be an opportunity. Am I getting in it? Not right now. Not for me. I wait for everything to prove it. Wait for it to prove it. Oil. I'm still expecting this to drop on down. Wait for this to come on down. Get that low 50. If not in the top upper 40s. GC. Getting a little bit of bounce action. So I'm interested if this potential plays out here. Really interested. Like this to me looked kind of like maybe that was more of an A wave. Actually, it looks kind of like a W X Y type setup, which is a little more complicated than an ABC. And the reason I kind of see that is because of this move right here was just straight down. No bounce, no three-wave shenanigans, no nothing. Straight down. That's typically what we see in a Y. It's usually how a Y wave plays out. Gets a little more complicated, but that's Elliott wave stuff for you. Bitcoin hanging here. If we close this green, It's kind of like what I was talking about on SES. This is where I started out kind of talking about this. That's why I started talking about ES. Like if we close back above that breakdown level, this kind of candle, that long tail doji thing, especially if it closes green right here, close a little green croquet hammer thing, that can signal a reversal. Pretty strong one. And the question is, did it sufficiently bum out everybody in Bitcoin so that we can go higher? Was that good enough? Now, looking down, smaller time frames, 4 hour, 3 candles, don't really have much information. A few more candles, don't really have much information. A few more candles, starting to look like 5 up. If we do a 3-wave retrace, hold somewhere between a 618 and here, turn back higher, do 5 up again, that starts to look better, especially if we can get the proportions off the low. Back up here, 95,000. Hold that 618. Get to 95, 96, right up in there. Through the 30-minute roadmap line. Retrace, hold the 30-minute. Push on higher. That starts to look really good. If we start breaking down below the high right here, probably going lower. So if you're really concerned about Bitcoin right now today, in the short term, here's your kind of your levels right there, right around 90,000. Don't really want to see it get below that with any kind of continued 30-minute price action right now, because we're looking at this pattern on a 30-minute. You see several 30-minute candles down here. It's an indication we're going lower. Now you can jump on down and play around in here. This is an indication that the lower time frame is holding, right? Been below it, been below it, been below it. All, yesterday we were holding a little bit and then broke down, retested, and flushed it out. 15-minute, spiked up and tested. When I see this get above, back test, go higher. Back test the 30-minute, go higher. That's how you know a reversal's cooking, all right? A lot of people seem to have trouble with this, but this is how you would know. Potential 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. 3-wave retrace. Need to hold in this vicinity between the 4 and the 618. And go higher. And because that's one, because this is only one wave, like there's not any kind of complicated anything off the low. That's the low right now. That could potentially be an A. This could be a B. If we stop right in here, that's a C. That's why I said we need that continuation up. It becomes a 3. Potential. We can be up here, retrace, hold a higher low, and then get a 5 up here. And then we have a 5 up. We want to see a 5 up here. We want to see a 3-wave here. We want to see a 3-wave here. And we want to see 5 up here. And then we'll see a bigger 3-wave retrace that'll bring us back down again. This is how we form the reversal off the lows. It's going to seem choppy. That's how you build the reversal. So we don't want to see it stop right here. If we stop right here and turn down violently, that's another sign from higher up that we're going lower low again. It's another warning sign. That right there is what happened. Right up here. When that formed right there, that was when I said, oh crap, we're going down here. I was pretty darn sure. When we did this, I was like, uh-oh. And then we confirmed it. And then look at where we are. So very serious here on all that. Ethereum. So what could take the total on down a little bit? Ethereum flushing on down right here. Right down in here. Probably need to do that in order to go higher again. This is down below that low with the daily close. If we don't just pop back up. Yeah, this is more what I was talking about on ES, right? Look at that. We closed below. We poked below one day. Didn't get like a big little doji hammer thing. Closed below the next day. Retesting it today. If we don't get back above, and today we stay down here, probably getting more selling in Ethereum. NKD still has a date with that right there. Dollar holding on to the roadmap line so far. If we get below 98.5, going on down. We hang in here, break above this high, we're probably going on up to 102. Apple dumpling. Potential to hold this 263 area and go higher again. That's potentially an A, B, C correction. But if we start getting down to 260, 250, watch out for that to break through that uptrend of lows. And if we do that, probably coming on down bigger. And that can develop into something much bigger on Apple. Amazon, well, if we don't hold right here where we are, probably coming on down to the roadmap line. Right there. Google, still holding up really well. I still expect that to tag that 304 area. Meta already talked about how this is potential for a bounce. Now, same thing. We got to see the reversal here. Just like Bitcoin, if the dip keeps dipping, we can go back to lower low than we had back here in April. Microsoft talked about that. I want to see that hold in here so we can go higher again. But I need to see more downside. Like I really need to see this push on down in here. Now, if it doesn't hold here, just like Meta, bigger retrace. And if it doesn't hold here, potential for it to come all the way back down to lows from April. Nvidia, probably going for the roadmap line. Tesla, that may have been enough bounce to push it on down. So I'm at odds here. We did spike on 1618. That was a big extension lower. We got a fair size bounce. Don't like that hammer candle. That could mean that we're going to extend this just a little bit lower down in this area. Right there around 375. I was looking for that 380 area to hold, but we may push it just a little bit lower. And Netflix, a split has occurred. Oh, cool. It adjusted all my drawings. Awesome. So that's what we've been looking for. Dip on down. Splits have been pretty bearish lately, so be careful. Look at that stuff that was bullish. Intuit was the biggest mover in the pre-market. Olema. Anytime we get pharmaceuticals on the top list, it's always a sign of the day being dangerous. This doesn't look too horrible though. Oh man, look at that. A, B, C potential stopping right there. Trend was down, correction was up, trend can go to 0. Be careful trading pharmaceuticals. Light, getting a little bit of consolidation here before we chug on higher. This has been a beast on a monthly chart. So there's a pattern. Maybe you're aware, maybe you're not. Where if you look at 52-week highs and they break out to 52-week highs, that's the highest high in 12 months, 12 candles on the monthly chart. If it consolidated for 3 to 6 months and then made that 52-week high, typically it will outperform the S&P 500 by 30% on average for the next 3 to 6 months, or 6 to 12 months. This is 3 to 6 month consolidation, and then this is a 6 to 12 month expansion. So right now we're sitting here at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's how much more potential it has to outperform the S&P 500. Crazy, right? Now, it doesn't have to do this. It can, take a break and just outperform, because 30% is the outperformance. Shiny. Looks like it wants to come back to the roadmap line. MDT. Yep. That one worked. You may have traded that one. There's the target right there today, 101. MOH. Not keeping the positive action. AS. Working on holding. Another roadmap retrace right here. Here's the high. Here's the low. Can we break back up through 36 to get 44? I don't know. MRK. I was pretty bullish on this earlier in the year. Still am. We got to get up to 102 to confirm we're going higher, though. Looks pretty nice, though. Here was the first move up. Retrace the 618. Now we got this move. And this thing looking pretty bullish. Let me see this outperform for a while. I need to get at 106 right there. Oh, yeah, beautiful. Nested setup. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 4. Yeah, this could be running on up into the 110, 120 area into next year. Arvin. Ooh, look at that meta already hitting that 618. Want to see it hold. More, look for more opportunity. TPC. For that to come back to the roadmap line. How? That may need to come back down, retest the kind of the breakout there. Might need to do that. Whew, that one's getting beat down. Punch in the face. That one too. Is that a Solana staking ETF? We're going into crypto liquidation. That's going to be rough. ASML stopped at the ABC proportions. Has not gotten on up yet. So holding pattern. Home Depot. Yikes. Well, that was corrective. Didn't do the 3. So we got to have that continuation didn't happen. This is more of an A, B, C proportion now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably going lower low on Home Depot. Nice. Got whacked. Dip can keep dipping. How low can she go? This one could go a long way down. This has a long way it can go down. Whew. Wow. We can see this back down in this consolidation area right here. That's another $60 down, 60%. ONC. Back to the roadmap line will be what I expect here. App loving, back to the roadmap line. Cloudflare bouncing off the roadmap line. GE Veranova back to the roadmap line. Looking for the bounce. STX looking for that. Come back to the roadmap line. LU at the roadmap line. Look for the bounce. 353. Close above with kickoff. 513. Wow, that's a big number there. This is a big retrace. Number wise, that would be a big expansion. That'd be more than a double if you're brave enough to buy the dip. If you wait for the entry up here, still a big potential. Lowe's getting whacked with Home Depot. That did hit bullish proportions though. So we need to see this hold a higher low on Lowe's. Higher low on low. I want to see this hold right here. Turn back, get back above this. Back up through the roadmap line, and then this could outperform to the upside. And leave Home Depot in the dust, kind of. SanDisk probably needs a big retrace. CLS needs a retrace. Race is doing a retrace after a 3-wave up. So be careful here. That was a ABC proportion right there. ABC. Trend was down into this. That's a 3-wave correction at the proportions for continuation lower. Uptrend of lows. We break through it. Probably going lower low. Downside targets around 360, 350. So it needs to hold here if we're going to go higher. If it doesn't, probably going lower. PDD. Back to the roadmap line. Look for that to hold and turn. Big picture. Still expecting that one to rally to 180. Honeywell. Doing nothing. CG. Back to the roadmap line. Looking for that to actually hit. MU. Watch out for a retrace. That got up through the target. I'd expect it to retrace back down a little bit before we go higher again. TSM. Back to the roadmap line would be what I expect. AMD retesting. Ooh. We don't hold on to this. This is a caution here. Caution, caution, caution. If we can't hold on to that breakout, this can come on down right here, 180. Come back to the roadmap line right there. Really need to hold on to that breakout. Push higher. CRDO, roadmap line, PLTR, roadmap line, SMH, roadmap line, VRT, roadmap line. So we still have loft left in a lot of these names. GE, roadmap line, ETN, nice retrace. Here's the high, here's the low, here's the high. We're almost to a proportion where it would be corrective. A absolutely B beautiful C correction, and we can go higher. Potentially. Got to get above the 618. If we don't, this can develop to something bigger and deeper. Carvana. Again, we can develop this into something bigger and deeper. We're sitting right at the proportions where we want to turn, get back above that 618 and go higher. If it doesn't, can go lower for sure. Oracle, probably going lower. That you can see right here that ABC, we're way down here and we might be extending into this breakout. Retesting the breakouts, what this looks like it's going to do. CIEN, I would expect this to, like, there's a lot of loft right there. Snow, we hit the target. Watch out for the retrace. NVS, chopping along. Baidu, roadmap line, coin, touching the target. And we might be nearing the end of the crypto correction here. I've been waiting for that on coin. MSTR might have a little more. Oh, it's holding up pretty well for Bitcoin to be doing what it's doing. That's holding up really well. It's a sign that we might be pretty much done. We may be front running that target. Now, if we get below that target, That's the next one down. MAT, still expect that to hit. Reddit, holding up the roadmap line pretty well. If we get below it though, and below that gap, could go deeper, back down to 100. WDC probably needs a correction at some point. A-Lab. Can we hold on to this and turn higher? That's starting to be 5 down, but it has overlap, so it's a diagonal. Probably going to get a 3-wave retrace, retest this 200 area, and then may have more correction to it. Leverage, leverage, leverage. More leverage. Bloom Energy. Roadmap line. XLY at the roadmap line. See if we can hold here and go for the target at 250. Marvell. So this could turn down here and go lower low very easily. Big correction type pattern. I've been watching that one for a while. Hood probably coming back down. It may go as deep as 75. COHR, watch for that to come back down. Duolingo. Wow. And going for the target there. Dell. That one may come back down in this 95 to 100 area. Lemonade. Yeah. All right. That's kind of the list. Wow. Bunch of corrective type stuff. And I'll be back 5 p.m. Eastern. Do my request show for the week. Make sure you come see me. And if I said anything that was helpful, beneficial today, patterns, anything, give me a thought, like, thumbs up, comment, share with a friend, phone a friend. It's in the poll. Looks like a lot of the market's doing this job, bumming everybody else. So 66% thinking no Santa Claus rally this year. All right, everybody. I'll be at Market Masters here in about an hour. Have a great day. See you again later. Be safe out there. The account you save may be your own.